When you think Vince Carter, I'm sure you all remember his high-flying dunks, Rookie of the Year, 8 All-Star appearances, top 10 scoring finishes, and his high-flying dunks. What I bet you didn't know is how many times he was traded before he even played a game in the NBA. And what's more, the Golden State Warriors kept turning him away every chance they got. Let's go back to the summer of 1993, June 30th to be exact. This draft goes down as the most memorable of all time. Not just because the Orlando Magic got the first pick for the second year in a row, but because they picked Chris Webber, then traded him immediately to the Golden State Warriors. Never before had a number 1 pick been traded on draft day, and it was a bonanza for the Magic. In exchange for Chris Webber, they received the number 3 pick in that draft, Anthony Hardaway, and a 96 first-round pick, a 2000 first-round pick, and the 1998 first-round pick, which ended up being your friend and mine, Vince Carter. The 93-94 season elevated the Magic to new heights, yet having Scott Skiles and Penny Hardaway splitting point guard duties took its toll. So, by the summer of 1994, the Magic were ready to part ways with Skiles, packaging him with that 96 first-round pick and the 98 first-round pick to the Washington Bullets for their 96 and 98 first-round picks. Now, here's where it gets eerie and strange and just plain weird. Remember Chris Webber, the number 1 pick from the 93 draft, the only number 1 pick ever to get traded on draft day? His first year went great, winning Rookie of the Year honors. But he clashed with head coach Don Nelson all season long about playing center. And so, in a rare display of management siding with the coach, Chris Webber was traded again. The Warriors shipped him to the other side of the country, where the Bullets were happy to have him in exchange for Tom Gugliotta, a 2000 first-round pick, and those 2 picks they got from the Magic, which initially belonged to the Warriors anyway. Having given their 96 and 98 first picks to the Magic for Chris Webber in 93, by November of 1994, they get them right back, with only Gugliotta to show for it until they can actually use those picks. Naturally, the Warriors suck big time for the next several years, but can't suck enough by 1998 to get the top pick. Get a load of the 4 teams that chose in front of them. On June 24th, 1998, the Warriors finally used their original draft pick, the one they had traded to Orlando back in 93, to select Vince Carter. However, they quickly orchestrated a deal with Toronto, exchanging Carter for their 4th pick, Carter's North Carolina teammate Antawn Jamison. Over the first 5 years of their careers, Toronto got the better of the deal, somehow realizing that Vince Carter's athletic ability would outshine Jamison's better college credentials. By 2004, Vince had worn out his welcome, even indicating he had stopped trying altogether. So the Raptors shipped him out to the Nets for Alonzo Mourning, Aaron Williams, Eric Williams, a 2005 first-round pick, and a 2006 first-round pick. In New Jersey, he helped mire the Nets in mediocrity, dragging Jason Kidd and company along for the ride. At this point, I wouldn't blame you if you had forgotten about the Orlando Magic. After trading Chris Webber, they built a powerhouse around Shaq and Penny. But Shaq got himself traded, Penny started to break down, and they had to rebuild. It took them a decade to get back into contention, but with a delicate mix of chemistry, good coaching, and luck, they made it all the way to the 2009 NBA Finals. For some reason, after they lost, they panicked and dealt for Vince Carter, the player whose rights they relinquished 15 years earlier. While the Magic continued to win games, it was clear that Vince Carter wasn't fitting in. And Orlando miraculously found someone willing to take on Vince Carter's bloated contract. the Suns got some good pieces in Petrus and Gortat to balance the trade. And whatever happened to poor Golden State? After trading Chris Webber, the tree branches out in all directions, acquiring names as familiar as Donyell Marshall and unfamiliar as Antoine Rigaudot. But trace these deals far enough out, past the cash payouts and players to be named later, and they were able to trade for an exciting guard out of UCLA that led them to their greatest NBA playoff run since 1991. While the Magic were able to turn that fateful draft into two separate NBA Finals runs, the Warriors have wallowed in the vast wasteland of the NBA, better known as lottery hell.